Good day, fellow investor. Are you a value investor? I have 10 questions for you, but before, let's start defining this. When it comes to Warren Buffett, he says you're not going to become a value investor because you read a book. You either have the mindset for it or you don't. And this is further discussed also in the 1984 Warren Buffett article, The Super Investors of Graham and Doddsville, where towards the end he concludes why is he giving his secrets out, because that would make it difficult for him, but he is not worried because the secrets have been out since Ben Graham and Dave Dodd wrote security analysis, and he has not seen a trend increasing in value investing, and that's 1984. Since then, value investing has just went down. The story is that Warren Buffett turned $1 into $501 since he published that article, and the S&P 500 did great. This is the greatest bull market of all bull markets, 40 years. It did 11.58% over time, but still just 15% of Warren Buffett's performance. And now the key question is, value investors are born. Are you a born value investor? I have created 10 questions, and now take your time, write down the answers, really think about honest answers. This is for you, for your, let's say, long-term investment journey to understanding yourself, so that you can also master your investments. Some questions are a little bit tricky, but I hope you'll enjoy, and a lot of self-introspection will be at the end. I will also answer the questions from my perspective, and then we'll see who is a value investor. The first question: are you happy when a stock you bought goes up? Does it feel good? Does it make you feel proud and smart? Second question: do you watch the news and think about what it means for your portfolio? Do you think the macro environment will have an impact on your investments? Third, how do you feel about the huge Bitcoin and Nvidia gains people around you made? Do you think Bitcoin will go to 500,000? Do you look for confirmation from the environment before doing something? Number 5, do you love history? Who was the Roman emperor that put his horse in the Senate? Number 6, do you read more about the next trends or more about what is going on now? Do you like change the world things or things that we all know? Do you prefer to look at financial statements, read an annual report, or you prefer to read a sector report with a forecast? The last stock you looked at, did you first look at how much you could gain from buying it now, how it is undervalued, and that it should be trading at a higher level? Or did you first look at how much you could lose? Number 9. If I ask you about your portfolio, what's the first thing that comes to mind? A stock you own has done nothing for 4 years. How do you feel about it? So I hope you have written down your answers. Let's put those now in a value investing perspective. Each of the questions here is related to a value investing concept. We have emotions, greed, and that is connected with: are you happy when a stock you bought goes up? Does it feel good? So that is the impact of emotions or your investing. Then we have the perspective. Is it a bottom-up or a top-down perspective? If you look at the news, then you have a top-down perspective, but value investors look from the bottom up, business by business. Number 3, the fear of missing out. If you look at Bitcoin, Nvidia's, and I get comments here on YouTube every day how I missed huge gains on that. How do you feel about that? If you're feeling okay, let them see them bubbles, then you are a value investor. Number 4, individualism or independent thinking. Do you look for confirmation from the environment before doing something? If yes, then it's not likely that you are a value investor. If no, then you are closer to being a value investor. Concept number 5. The key is, of course, long-term thinking. And therefore, I ask a little bit tricky, do you love history? Who was the Roman emperor that put his horse in the Senate? It was Caligula, and That's just a tricky question here, but to make you think, do you like history? Do you like those long-term patterns? If you read Seth Klarman, he talks about the Roman architects staying below the building when they remove the scaffolding. So if they did something wrong, it will crash on them. That's the kind of history I see these value investors like, but it's more about the mindset of long-term thinking. Then we have being skeptic. Do you read more about the next trends, or are you skeptic about the next trends and you want confirmation first and then you see where it goes? Number 7, focus on fundamentals. Of course, depending on what you see, what you like, it's better to look at the financial statement, read a boring annual report, versus sector reports that forecast lithium growth of 50%, etc., etc., or AI now. When it comes to value investing, risk is the start and end of everything. And when you look at the stock, what do you look? How much will you make, or what can go wrong? Value investors look at what can go wrong. If I ask you about portfolio, question 9, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Well, most people are focused on performance. What did my portfolio do? Perhaps value investors are focused on the P ratio or the dividend yield. Number 10, the concept is patience. The question is, if a stock does nothing, how do you feel about it? Well, if the business does okay, then you don't care about the stock. Are you a value investor? What should we say, that yes or no? 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10 with room for improvement? It doesn't really matter, you know how you feel inside. So let me go through these questions. Are you happy when a stock goes up? And here you will see how it's not easy to be a value investor. When I started with YouTube, and especially with my research platform 6 years ago, then I really looked, okay, I need to deliver fast now to keep my business, to do this. And then I really looked at stocks that need to go up fast. So that was something that was driving me, because I thought that is what you want. Later, fortunately, great clients and this and that, and now we are back to pure value investing. So it has been a ride, but it's very easy to get off track. Do you watch the news? I watch the news because I like to make content and then drive people back to the bottom-up value investing, where the news doesn't really matter. Worst case scenario, am I okay? That's it. So I'm a bottom-up, I look at hundreds of stocks constantly. How do you feel about Bitcoin? I'm happy for all of those, and I hope my friends that own it and they make money, you that made money on it, that you just sell before the bubble bursts. That's my only hope about it. And I've seen many bubbles. I know I'll watch many other bubbles just pass by. That's value investing. Do I look for confirmation from the environment before doing something? No. When I was a kid, I would walk on this side on the road. My schoolmates would walk on the other side of the road, 5, 6 of them, and they would get even nasty, but I was always doing my thing. Who cares? Do you love history? Yes, I love history. Of course, I made the questions, so I'm a little bit biased here, but okay. Do you read more about the next trend? I prefer to know, okay, the next trends, but I want to see already confirmation in the next trends, and then a little bit more than that. So when the next trend is really there, the internet is here already for 20 years, and there's always time to do good, even in the trend. Even if you miss the first round, the first wave, the third, there is always time. Do you prefer to look at financial statements? Of course. The last stock I looked, most stocks that I look, okay, is there something, especially those that I own, what can push it lower, what's the margin of safety, and then we go on to build for the rewards. P ratio of 10, my portfolio, I am very happy with that, perhaps even lower than 10 for some sectors and portfolios. So with growth, that's what I focus on, that the business keep on delivering over time. A stock you own has done nothing for 4 years. If the business is doing what it promised, maybe I just made a mistake, bought too early, but I'm always looking at the stock now versus what the business is doing. I think I still have a lot to learn for being a value investor. It's easy to talk about it. It's very difficult to put in practice and really action when it comes the time to be in action without all the influences we have around from the markets, etc. But we are here to learn. We are here to drill in the value investment into us, and that's why you're here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this.